We're back!
We're hungry!
And we're still in the town of Puducherry, also called Puducherry, because we've not had our fill of this place. And one of the most amazing things you can do here, besides the eating, is this. Take a walk, morning or evening, along the promenade with the ocean on your right.
In fact, it's so beautiful that when the French came sailing along the coast of India, they saw the beautiful beaches of Puducherry and they said, oh, what a place! C'est magnifique! We must make a home here!
Sacre bleu!
And that's when they decided to come over here and take over the place. But after about a couple of 100 years, we managed to excuse ourselves from them and send them along their way. But what they have left behind is an entire French influence which exists in the town of Puducherry today. Am I right, mon ami?
Absolutement, certainement. So come along while we explore Puducherry some more. You will not rue it.
And we will walk off into the sunset singing our favorite song. Alouette, gentille alouette, alouette, gentille alouette. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And when in Puducherry, come for a Vietnamese meal. Confused? Don't be. Romain Rolland Street intersects the Lal Bahadur Shastri Street or the Rue de Bussy. And that's where this restaurant, the La Vietnam, is.
And as they say in French, asi tusi busi gaisi. So, because Pondicherry is an amalgamation of French and Tamilian culture, it only makes sense to come and eat at a French Vietnamese restaurant.
It's a deep connection. We'll tell you more.
When you walk into an eatery and you're offered a meal like this, you should thank both the countries that are responsible for this meal, the French and the Vietnamese.
Vietnam was a former French colony and it became independent in 1945, so there's a lot of French influence. Just like we have a lot of British influence. Like I speak flawless French, for example, or British, English. What am I speaking?
Chinese.
Chinese.
From the sound of it.
Which is also a big influence.
Vietnamese food is all about freshness of ingredients, not just when they go in, but when they come to your plate also. So they'll try and cook their food so that there's minimum interference through the cooking process. And even when dishes are prepared, you can taste the freshness of the ingredients, which is exactly what's happening with this vegetable soup. Light, zesty, and you can actually taste each of the vegetables that are going in it. There's little pieces of tofu, there's diced mushrooms, there's fresh spring onions and coriander, which were obviously put after the soup had been prepared, and there's little slices of carrot. And each of those lends a very distinctive flavor to each sip of the soup.
What I've got here is the Tom Zao Gung Yi Ming, or sesame ginger prawns cooked in a gravy which is delightfully mild. This is the thing about Vietnamese food. It's light, it's mildly spiced, mostly. The ingredients are almost raw. To me, it tastes a lot like Chinese food with Indian toppings like sesame and coriander.
Sacrilege! Sacrilege! The reason I say sacrilege, in the interest of full disclosure, and I'm not kidding about this, my mother-in-law is Vietnamese. So that's why, I'm not going to try and pronounce the Vietnamese names of any of these dishes in case I get into trouble at home. What I can pronounce is this, because this is a French dish. Champignon sauté avec frites.
It's a good thing your mother-in-law's not French.
She would have given me.
She would have not been happy.
These are mushrooms lightly sautéed with garlic and served with French fries. And the nice thing is you can actually get a taste of the mushroom and the texture of the mushroom along with that nice bite of garlic. Very nicely done.
And now for the piece de résistance. This is a sweet and sour fish, which I suspect was dried already to start with a topping of onion, tomatoes, a touch of sugar or honey, mild flavoring all over it, and these deadly looking red chilies right on top with a little bit of coriander. Once again, it's light and fluffy. No wonder you look like this. Your mother-in-law's been feeding you well. You become a skinny, light boy.
I mean, I've never seen a fat Vietnamese, ever. That's because of the influence of their food. There's vermicelli, for example, which has got lots of fresh vegetables in it. Again, very lightly fried. And then the vegetables seem to have been added right at the end because you can taste the greenness, if that's a word, of the broccoli, the orangeness of the carrot.
I hope the whiteness of the plate is not spoiling the taste.
No, I can always take a bite of the... Tastes like nothing.
Wherever you may be in the world, it's always a good idea to take all the leftovers in the fridge or at home and put together the prawn, the chicken, the eggs, the veggies, give them a little stir fry, and put them in a whole bunch of rice, which is what this is. This is a mixed fried rice, and it's got everything. Now that is my favorite, and that, the sweet and sour fish, because it has a bitter taste. I find everything else a little bland, just a little.
That's because you're a barbarian. And even though you've started eating with chopsticks, you don't know the secret that the further back you hold the chopsticks, the higher class you're supposed to be. Your Highness, you are royalty. I didn't recognize you. My favorite, this, the fried vermicelli with fresh vegetables. Yes, it does require a little bit of addition of one of the sauces to give it a little more powerful taste. It's very, very nice. Really nice cassava cake with powdered sugar, which is chewy for some reason. And this, the cheba, is coconut milk with bits of corn and tapioca pearls.
Also known as sabudana kheer.
Not super sweet, nice body, really nice texture.
Cassava cake, is it good?
Best served hot. It's spongy on top. It's a little fried and crispy on the bottom. And that sugar adds just the right taste.
That is good. What exactly is a cassava?
It's a kind of root, as far as I know.
I thought if you eat too much and you become fat, your trousers become really tight, so it's called cassava trousers.
Oh, you French people, you always want to bring everything. You think everything is in French. Cassava.
That's true. And now we're going to give you Rocky and Mayur's report card. Taste.
7. My mother-in-law makes it much better.
7. Your mother-in-law's food I've never eaten. Ambience.
8.
7.
What about service?
Nice. 9.
Very slow for me. 7. And value for money?
Pretty good. 8.
Agreed. 8. Done with the food in Puducherry. We will be back on the road where we're going to meet somebody whose appetite is even larger than ours.